Hello and welcome to Cloudy Math. Today I want to show you how to solve systems of linear equation algebraically by using elimination. Let's look at example 1. We have a system of linear equations and we need to use the 5 steps to solve it. So let's start it. Step 1. Line up the variables in the two equations. That means we need to line up the variable x and y in both equations vertically, so we can write the 12x minus 8y equals 6. And underneath the first equation, we can write the negative 6x minus 2y equals 3. Make sure the x, y, and constants are lined up vertically. Step 2. Add or subtract the equations to eliminate one variable. First, we need to determine which variable we are going to eliminate, and then we need to make sure the coefficient of the variable in both equations has the same absolute value. If we want to eliminate the x, we need to find the least common multiple of 12 and negative 6. If we want to eliminate the y, we need to find the least common multiple of negative 8 and negative 2. You can pick either one. I choose the y here. So the least common multiple of negative 8 and negative 2 is negative 8. That means I need to multiply the first equation by 1 and multiply the second equation by 4 so that the y has the same absolute value of 8. We don't need to write the 1 here because 1 multiplied by any number equals itself. So I can erase the 1. Since the first equation doesn't change anything, so I just copy it right here. We have 12x minus 8y equals 6. In the second equation, we need multiply 4 by each term. So we have negative 24x minus 8y equals 12. And now we can do the step 2. We need to use the subtraction because the negative 8 minus negative 8 is equivalent to negative 8 plus 8 equals 0. So we use the subtraction. 12x minus negative 24x is equivalent to 12x plus 24x. So we have 36x. Negative 8y minus negative 8y equals 0. And 6 minus 12 equals negative 6. And here we can solve for the remaining variable x. We can divide 36 on both set of equations, and we end up with x equals negative 1/6. Step 4. Substitute the value into an equation to find the value of the unknown variable. That means we can substitute the x equals negative 1/6 to our original equations. You can pick either one. I choose the second one because it has a smaller coefficient. So I can write negative 6 times negative 1/6 minus 2y equals 3. And simplify this equation, I have 1 minus 2y equals 3. Subtract 1 on both set of equations, I have negative 2y equals 2. And divide negative 2 on both set of equations, I have y equals negative 1. We have the value of the x and the value of the y. We can do the step 5. Write your answer as a point. So we have negative 1/6 comma negative 1. And this is our solution for the example 1. You can check the solution by substitute the value of x and the value of y back to our original equation and to see if they equal 6 and 3. The second example is a little harder than the example 1, but with the similar procedures, we need to follow the 5 steps. Step 1. Line up the variables in the two equations. So we need to make sure the x and the y and the constant line up vertically. Step 2. Add or subtract the equations to eliminate one variable. You can pick the x or y. Here I want to eliminate the x, so I need to find the least common multiple of negative 4 and negative 10, which is negative 20. That means I need to multiply the first equation by 5 and multiply the second equation by 2. Here is a shortcut if you don't know how to find the least common multiple. You just multiply the first equation by the coefficient of the x in the second equation, and multiply the second equation by the coefficient of the x in the first equation. In the first equation, we can write 40x plus 20y equals negative 140. In the second equation, we can write 40x minus 28 equals 100. So here, the x in both equations have the same coefficient. From now, we can add or subtract to eliminate the x. We need to use the subtraction. 40x minus 40x equals 0. 20y minus negative 28y equals 48y because it is equivalent to 20y plus 28y. And the negative 140 minus 100 equals negative 240. Here we can solve for the value of the y. We can divide the 48 on both side of equations, and we end up with y equals negative 5. Step 4. Substitute the y equals negative 5 to our original equations. You can pick either one. I choose the first one because it has a smaller coefficient. So I can write negative 4x minus 2 times negative 5 equals 14. And simplify, we have negative 4x plus 10 equals 14. And transpose the 10 to the right side of equation, we have negative 4x equals 4. And divide the negative 4 on both sides of equations, we end up with x equals negative 1. Here we solved the value of the x and the value of the y. We can do the step 5. Write your answer as a point. So we have negative 1 comma negative 5. And this is our solution for the example 2. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will update algebra tutorial every week, so see you in the next video.